What's going on, guys? Greggy P Reviews back again with another tech video. Zettlab AI is a new NAS brand, and they have their own AI proprietary hardware inside their NAS. If you don't know what a NAS is, it is a network attached storage, which means you're going to get the large storage size and you're going to be able to access your files over a network. It doesn't actually have to be over the internet, but it is going to use network attached storage features. So you are going to have to learn a little bit about networking, and it's really not that difficult once you get the hang of it, although it can seem a little bit tedious at first. Zettlab was kind enough to send me out a sample of their new Zettlab AI NAS. This is going to be the 4-bay base model, and they do have a Pro model, just like Ugreen that released on Kickstarter back a year or so ago. I'm still using my 6-bay Pro model Ugreen, and I'm going to do my best not to compare it to this one, although they are both Kickstarter brands. This one is going to be primarily for, the AI features, while the Ugreen NAS does have exceptional hardware and it did launch on Kickstarter. It's not going to be directly comparable to this. If it is comparable, I will mention it in the video, but I want to keep this video primarily about Zettlab, and I want to talk about what I like about this idea, maybe what I don't like about it so much, and I can absolutely give you my honest review. So I'll be coming out with this video in the very near future. I think to get started, I'm going to do a little unboxing for this Zettlab AI NAS. This is the 4-bay base model, and I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek so you know what to expect if you're thinking about purchasing this. Now, you're probably asking, why do I need an AI NAS? Why don't I just get a Ugreen NAS? Well, they have some AI features, but the difference between this and the Ugreen NAS is going to be, this was built from the ground up to use AI. So it's going to be able to categorize your photos, your videos. It's going to be able to search them. I will have to test this out to see how it works. But let's say you want to search a video of a goofy guy standing next to some boxes. You might be able to type that in and the video should come right up, especially if this thing is working as good as it's supposed to. Really excited to check this out. We're going to do a quick unboxing, and you probably noticed I have changed my name to Greggy P Reviews, and that is just because the Pizzle was giving me some issues with search engine optimization. Not only that, but in some languages it's a bad word, and it's really not what I want to do when I make videos for this channel. I want to be pretty, family friendly and enjoyable for everyone. I don't want to lock myself out of, search engine optimization. That's definitely not a good idea. So I did try to stick it out for 10 years making videos, but I'm going to change the name to Greggy P Reviews, and I think it has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Zettlab was kind enough to send me this before release so that I could review it for all of you guys. I just want to let you know that I'm not being paid for this, but they did tell me they will reimburse me $200 for hard drives, and being that all my hard drives were being utilized, I ended up having to get 2 of these with my own money, and then I'm also going to have to fill it up with the 4-bay capacity so that I can test it, at least give you a good idea of what you're going to see for speeds, and give you a good idea on how easy it is for even a bonehead like me to set it up, guys. If you appreciate my down-to-earth tech reviews, Definitely subscribe so you won't miss my next video. If you're curious why I picked WD Red Plus hard drives for this, it's because these are specifically for NAS enclosures. They're not going to run super hot, and they're going to be meant to be run 24 hours a day. These should give you no issues. You don't have to get WD because Seagate makes a NAS version. I see NAS and I think NAS. I listened to too much rap growing up, but Seagate makes a NAS version. Toshiba makes a NAS version. I bought Exos drives, which were like Seagate's enterprise version, but I got them refurbished. So you have a ton of options. I would just suggest you do get an enterprise model, or at least get one that's specifically made to run in a NAS, because the last thing you want to do is ruin your data and you're going to have a mess trying to get it back. You're going to have to spend more money trying to get it back than you would have if you just spent a couple bucks more to get the appropriate hard drives. If you're interested in purchasing any hard drives, definitely use those affiliate links. They don't cost you anything, but they greatly help me out. Let's be honest, guys, 8 terabytes is really the bare minimum that you should be throwing in a NAS these days. I want you all to make good purchasing decisions, and I don't want you to rush out and buy something when you haven't done your proper research. So hopefully this video will help you out, and I'll go through some of the specs of this NAS later on in the video or later on in the series. So let's get down in this unboxing and see what comes in the box of this Zettlab 4 AI NAS. Let's go. As you can see, we have a cat. This is Lulu. Wow, Lulu. She's gonna help us. Lulu the cat is going to help us with this unboxing, as you can see. Lulu, what are you doing? Come on, let's unbox this. We did have Lulu's help, but she has retired from the game. So we have the Zettlab AI NAS. This is really cool. This is going to be your personal cloud for data management with local AI. Brand new company. They did start with Kickstarter, similar to Ugreen, but dissimilar to Ugreen. They are basing their NAS in AI. It's right in the name, Zettlab AI NAS, and this is going to be personal cloud for data management with local AI. We have something really cool with this NAS. Everyone has a color screen right there, so you can see what exactly is going on. And then you've also got some outputs and inputs in the front of the NAS. It looks like SD card 4.0, TF 4.0, USB 3.0, USB 3.0. So we got a C and an A, and then a copy button, which is really cool. If you are getting into a NAS, I do suggest you get yourself at least a brand that is NAS ready. Zettlab network attached storage. This is the Zettlab D4, 16 gigabytes of RAM, a system drive capacity, 32 gigabytes. I think that's the OS drive. 12 volt, 10 amps. We've got a packaging size. If you are new to network attached storage, it can be a little bit confusing, but basically, this is going to compile all your data, and you can set it up in RAID or without RAID. So each bay will kind of combine and make a big data set for you to put all your photos, your videos, and your data. And then you can access it through a cloud, or you can manage it on a local network, which is what a lot of people like to do because they don't really want their data out there, especially with different companies, and you never know how they could access your data. But a lot of people are using this for their own personal cloud, and then you can use it on a local network, or you can use it on your public network, which you can do, and you just want to make sure that you're safe with that. Now, I am not the best person to give network advice, as I am just learning. I did have to set up 10 GBE networking for the Ugreen NAS. As of now, I am using the 10G networking on a local area network. So basically, you have to configure your network and connect this to the computer. This is notably going to be missing a Thunderbolt and a 10G connection, which I think is very important, at least for a NAS nowadays, but you do have USB 3.0. And this is going to be compiling and giving you easy access to your data. And they are using proprietary hardware to utilize AI, and it's hopefully going to make it a lot easier to access your data. We just have a pretty plain packaging, which compared to other packages is pretty bare bones here. So let's open this, and we've got a nice void label there. So that is cool. So they're gonna know if you open that up, it has a void sticker on it. So that way, I guess you can't say that you didn't open it, but you did. Okay, so we got that open. We've got some nice handles here that my cat was trying to open. And then there is some little tabs right here. Okay, it's open. Okay, we've got accessory box. And we've got some handles here. Wow, very nice packaging here. So you can kind of pick up the whole unit like so. Put it right here. And then we'll see, we've got an accessory box. Put that on top. And what else? Anything else? Doesn't look like it, but let's check. Very nice job with the packaging, although it is very plain. Okay, so here is what we are left with here. We've got the accessory box as well as the NAS, and we've got a back dust cover right here, okay? And boom, take this off, chuck this aside, and take a look at this here. Now, right off the rip, very nice quality here. A little bit of cardboard dust because of that packaging. We do have the labeling in the front here, and looks like it does pick up scratches. Nice clicky copy button, which is really cool. Kind of wish my other NAS had that. We've got an SD card, a TF 4.0. Okay, those are nice and clicky. I like that. And they just slide out. And very easy to use design. We've got the nice locking buttons with installation. Locking installers here. Looks to be plastic with a little mix of metal, but not much. It's mostly plastic here. Oh, it's upside down. That's my fault. Okay. So, yep, that should just slide in and pop out. Okay, so very nice design. There are a few scratches on it. There you can see that screen. We'll take that off. And we have the Zettlab. Nice look. Little plasticky on the bottom here, metal over here. And, oh, those are popping out. Not the highest of quality, but it feels pretty good. It feels solid. And here we have the output. We have a power button in the back. We've got a reset button. We've got a DC in, HDMI out, USB 2.0. I mean, wow. USB 2.0. I mean, wow. That's super slow. I don't only have a 1 GBE and a 2.5 GBE. I would have rather had one 10G than have these two, but it is what it is. We'll have to see what we get with speeds here. But I think in the current networking conditions, I think, 10 GBE is kind of minimum in 2026, 2025. But it is what it is, and this is their first model. So we do have some plastic here, which is also unfortunate, but it is what it is. I don't mind the plastic on the bottom. Buttons are nice and clicky, so that is cool. And we have a little back cover here. Okay, nice long screws. And I just did a video on this Semantic screwdriver. I'll leave it right there if you're interested in watching it, but they do have a newer model that I actually like better. It is what it is. So let's see here. I'll put those aside, and let's see how easily this comes off right here. Okay. I might need my little putty knife, actually. It's pretty on there, pretty good. Okay, pops right off. And we have thermal protection right there. And then you've got the back of the motherboard right there. That's probably the CPU and where the heatsink goes on. Looks like the RAM is not upgradable with this model, but they do actually give you 16 gigabytes right off the rip, so that is awesome. The threads and the screws are really nice. They don't feel like cheap or anything. They screw in nice, they catch nice, which is awesome. No shortcuts there. This is going to be your dust cover right here. And this is nice and metal, so that's great. And it's got the Zettlab logo right there. So we'll just throw that on and we'll see what it looks like. Much better. Okay, so this is going to be magnetic. So we'll go up top like that. Okay, not bad. Going to protect you from dust, which is great, especially if you have cats like I do. We're going to open this accessory box and see what awaits us here. So we've got a networking cable that does not seem particularly long, and it's probably at least a high-speed one. So yeah, very short cable. It's about 4 feet, maybe 3 feet, and this is going to be a Cat 8 cable, SFTP, 40 gigabytes, so that's great. And we've got a nice quick start guide and a power supply. So very bare bones, but everything that you need, we'll keep that. You got an AC adapter. This seems to be pretty high quality. It's got the cable that comes out the side there, and then the power adapter, which is long enough. This one's about 4 feet, definitely. Then you're just gonna plug it in like this, and I think maybe this part could be a little bit longer, but it looks like, you know, it should be suitable. This is going to plug in, obviously, in your DC spot right there. And then you have the power button on the back. So as you can see, you've got that awesome screen right there, which is really, really cool for a NAS in this price point. Let's get a look here. Take this off. Okay. Okay. So this doesn't look to be a touchscreen. And you can see where the top of the LED is kind of shining through the top of the screen, but it looks pretty good. No network available, and we have the M.2 available, and it says admins NAS, which is really awesome. But being that there's no buttons or anything, there's really nothing you can do. You can really only see the stuff on the screen. Seems pretty quiet. You can barely hear a fan, so that's awesome. And let's see on the back, do we have anything going on? Nope. Okay, no lights or anything yet. But there are 2 indicator lights for the Ethernet ports, which is nice. And now let's test the power here. Let's see what happens. If we hold it like this and press the power button once, nothing happens. Okay. Now, let's hold it. Okay, I think it shut off, and then the light shut off. Okay. So that's about it there. So what you would want to do next is actually load up your hard drives. And I'll try to give you a look so you can see how to actually install these, see if it's easy to install for you. And you just press this button, this slides out, and then what you're gonna do is make sure the connections are facing outward, and you're gonna put it in so it fits in these little holes on the side, like so. Nice tool-less design there, so that's awesome. And then you're just gonna close it like so. Now, let's see. All right, there you go, tool-less design, which is really nice. And that was easy enough, okay? Very easy to use design here. So you're just going to, oh, that's upside down again. I think I keep doing that because this comes out from the bottom, so it takes a little getting used to. You're gonna plug that in and then press it and you're good. And then you're gonna take the other one and get that one ready. So very, very easy to set up and use, which is really awesome. I don't really have a preference for hard drives, to be quite honest with you. I'm using Seagate in my other NAS. All right, right as rain. Yeah. And I already forgot the name of my new channel. So Zettlab is a brand new company in the arena of network attached storage, or NAS, or NASI, if you say that and it's plural. I'm not exactly sure, but network attached storage is basically a combination of hard disks and a computer system that connects over a network to give you large amounts of storage and a bunch of other useful features. I do photo and video on the side, and I also do obviously video reviews for Amazon and YouTube. As you can probably imagine, I have a ton of data between photo and between videos. So a NAS really makes sense for me, and that's why I ended up getting the Ugreen NAS back a while ago. You can probably hear it. It's actually using its AI features right now, and it's culling through my photos. So I've been doing this for the past few days, and honestly, it's been going non-stop. It's been a little bit frustrating, but the reason that I turned all those features on is because I wanted to have something to compare this bad boy to. So Zettlab reached out to me and asked me to take a look at their new NAS unit. They wanted to send me their 4-bay base model, and I had told them, yeah, I do have a 6-bay Ugreen NAS, but it's the Pro model. So it's going to be a little bit tough to compare those two, being as there's a big price difference, number one, and number two, they're really for two different user cases, at least I would say. I mean, the 6-bay Pro model with two 10G ports, that is more for your small to medium-sized photo and video business or anyone that needs all that data. And the 4-bay model is going to be your basic consumer model. I had explained that to Zettlab, so I told them I'm mostly going to cover the features of the Zettlab. I'm not going to directly compare it to my Ugreen because, let's be honest guys, that just wouldn't be fair. But they do have something in common. They both started their product line on Kickstarter, and I only know that because I was one of the backers for Ugreen, and they had come out with this, insane thing. It was such a big deal for a NAS company to actually put newer hardware into their NAS. I mean, it sounds crazy nowadays, but they really disrupted the network attached storage market, and it was really exciting. So I ended up hopping in, I ended up building that up, and I've tested that. I've made videos about the Ugreen, and now I'm getting other NAS manufacturers reaching out to me because you guys have supported my videos, and I greatly appreciate that, guys, especially now I'm in the middle of getting kicked out of my apartment and I am trying to purchase a home, but I wasn't really ready. So, nevertheless, any support that I'm getting is greatly appreciated, and I'm happy to test as many products as I have time for. It has to hit two qualifications for me to really consider taking a product. It has to improve my life, whether that be video creating or lifestyle, or it has to be something that is going to be very interesting to all of you. So I hope you're interested in this content here. This is going to be a really cool video to make. So Zettlab hasn't been out very long. I believe these models have not even fully released yet, but the reviewers have been testing them for a while. This is going to be your 4-bay base model, and what Zettlab did differently from Ugreen is they didn't just focus on putting the highest grade hardware they could, fully custom OS and fully custom silicone, and basically it's going to be able to handle AI. They can measure how much AI processing a CPU can do, and this CPU is going to be the RK3588, and it's 8 cores with 6 TOPS of NPU. And I believe that's neural processing units, and I believe TOPS is going to be how they measure that. So it has 6 TOPS NPU, which is going to help process all that AI workload. They didn't just stop there. They went and built their own OS from the ground up. It's called ZettOS, and they're claiming that you're going to be able to use AI to categorize your photos and videos, to search documents, and that opens up a world of possibilities, especially if you're like me and maybe don't have everything, mapped out and labeled. I know a lot of people like to do that stuff, but for me, I get stirred up when I look at a bunch of numbers and a bunch of file names. It's really not something I enjoy doing, so I don't end up doing it all that much. So something like this is probably going to come in handy for me, where I can just type in, goofy guy in glasses talking about a NAS, and hopefully it'll be able to pull that up with this CPU, which is capable of 6 TOPS NPU. And they also stack the deck here. They give you 16 gigabytes of DDR4X. So they give you 16 gigabytes of DDR4X instead of actually the DDR5 that the Ugreen NAS came with, but they only gave you 8 gigabytes. So you're going to get more, but it's DDR4 and it's a little faster, DDR4X. And then if you upgrade all the way up to the D8 Ultra, they have an 8-bay and it's an Intel Core Ultra 5 with 14 cores, 18 threads, 34 TOPS NPU. So that is really, really interesting. It's like you go from the base model, which is an ARM processor, and then you go to Intel. So I wonder if that might have been difficult for the company to have to scale between using an ARM processor and then going to an Intel processor, but I'll go over the other specs of this device really quick. It has a really nice color screen on it. It's got all your SD cards and it has a physical copy button, which I really like. Because a lot of times you don't want to interface with something. If you plug something in, you can just hit copy, and then it's going to set that up. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this OS up, and it looks like you're going to be able to put 4 24 terabytes and then a 4 terabyte SSD. It only has one SSD slot. Okay, that's really annoying, Ugreen, so I'm going to have to shut you off because, my God. The Ugreen NAS is pretty loud as well. It's like, you know, it's not quiet. Basically, if you get any of the basic models, you're going to get the same setup. You're going to get just more bays between the 4 and 6 bay. You're going to get the 8-core CPU with 6 TOPS. You're going to get 16 gigabytes of LPDDR4x, and that is the maximum amount of RAM that you can use, probably because it's soldered in. And you're going to get a system SSD, which has your OS on it. That's 32 gigabytes. And then they both have one M.2 slot, and it's capable of JBOD, BASIC, and RAID 0, 1, 5, 6, and 10, which is really great. And the maximum capacity is going to be 24 terabyte hard drives in each slot. And then you're going to get only 1 GBE LAN port and then a 2.5 GBE LAN port. I kind of wish in that case they just went with 110. But that's kind of the kicker for me. It's kind of like, why not just put 110 there and not have the other one? But I guess they save that for the higher models. And then you're going to get one USB 3 Type-C in the front and one USB 3 Type-A in the front. And then in the back, you've got 2 USB 2.0s, which are the older, slower USBs. But you do get a micro SD card reader and an SD card reader, and those are both 4.0, so that's great. They're super fast. And it says you can handle H.264, H.265, 8 or 10-bit, and then it says LCD display, and then you've got some ambient lighting, which is really, really cool. Wow, it looks like the other models have more AI as well, so oh wow. Okay, so the base model is going to come with AI categories, AI search, AI Q&A via PC computing power, and then AI transcription. So we'll have to look into all of these, but if you do spring for the higher models, it's going to give you 2 USB 4 ports, it's going to give you 2 10 GBE LAN ports, it's going to give you 1 USB 3 Type A, and then it's going to give you only 1 USB 2.0 and then a PCIe expansion card, and then it's going to give you the same card readers. If you get one of the other higher up models, it's going to offer text to image or speech local LLM and AI, which is pretty interesting, but I'm not exactly sure the benefit of that and if it'd be worth it to actually upgrade. I can really only tell you what I discover when using this and setting this up. But nevertheless, the base model still has the AI horsepower and it still should be able to handle most of what the features are listed here. So we're gonna get set up and start checking this out, guys. My name is Greg and I used to have a channel called Pizzles Tech Time, but I changed the name to Greggy P Reviews because I realized the search engine optimization wasn't favorable for the word pizzles, and I was getting sick and tired of spelling it for people all the time and feeling embarrassed. So we're gonna change the name. I hope you guys still rock with it there, but one thing about this Zettlab that I really did enjoy is this right here. Now, when it's laying flat, you're not really having an issue, but if you have this and you're moving it around, you can really press these pretty easy. and there's no lock really for them except for this right here, which I guess is a lock, but if you hit that, it just opens it right up. And I will say the enclosures are really, really nice. They're super easy to use. You just pick this up and then you close it like so, and then that's locked in. It's not coming out. I mean, awesome. I'm using some 8 terabyte Western Digital drives, and then they lock in like that. Really, really simple and easy to use, guys. I really do like the design. I just wish that it had maybe a lock on the top so that this didn't pop up. But it is what it is. Nothing's perfect, guys. And I really don't love USB 2.0. I kind of feel like that's a waste. To be honest, it's just too slow for transferring anything. I mean, unless you're connecting some other peripheral, but you know, I don't really see the need for it. As well as the 1 GBE port. I feel like they should have just went with a 10 GBE port and left it at that. But that's just my opinion. I really wanted to get this video out in a timely manner, not only for Zettlab, but for you guys. I want you guys to stay well informed. So hopefully this video will help you out. And my name's Greg with Greggy P Reviews. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.